Avada Kedavra, the Killing Curse. No incantation is more feared or final. When cast correctly, Avada Kedavra causes instantaneous, painless death. No flash, no blood, just a burst of green light and silence. It cannot be blocked by spells or physical objects. There's no counter curse. The only known survivor? Harry Potter. And only because of the Horcrux embedded in him. To cast it, the wizard must truly mean to kill. That's not just intent, it's desire. A casual wave won't do it. It's why the Ministry classifies this as one of the 3 unforgivable curses. Using it gets you a one-way trip to Azkaban. Yet it remains Voldemort's favorite spell for a reason. Clean, efficient, and terrifyingly effective. Crusio. The Cruciatus Curse doesn't kill, it breaks. It's designed to inflict unbearable pain on the victim, targeting both nerves and sanity. The longer it's held, the deeper the damage. Physically, the victim appears untouched. No blood, no bruises. But internally, it's chaos. Neville's parents were tortured into permanent insanity with this curse, which tells you all you need to know. Like Avada Kedavra, Crusio requires more than just a wand flick. The caster must want the pain. The curse feeds on malice. That's why Harry couldn't properly use it when he tried on Bellatrix. His rage wasn't cruel enough. Voldemort's Death Eaters, however, were experts. Imperio, control. Total, effortless control. The Imperious Curse turns a free-thinking wizard into a puppet. Victims lose autonomy, their thoughts replaced with the caster's will. They'll follow orders, jump off a cliff, reveal secrets, betray friends, and feel perfectly calm doing it. That's the true horror of Imperio. It robs not just freedom, but resistance. During the First and Second Wizarding Wars, the curse was used widely by Death Eaters to mask loyalty. Some claimed to be under Imperius to dodge prosecution, others genuinely were. Breaking free requires exceptional willpower, as demonstrated by Harry in Goblet of Fire. The spell isn't flashy, but it's absolute. And that makes it terrifying. Sectum Sempra. Invented by Severus Snape under his Half-Blood Prince alias, Sectum Sempra is like a magical switchblade. When cast, it lashes out with invisible slashing damage, cutting deep into the target, causing rapid blood loss and immense trauma. Snape never meant for it to be used in actual combat, but Harry found it in a textbook and used it against Draco Malfoy during a bathroom duel. The result? Near-fatal wounds and a horrified Hogwarts. What makes Sectum Sempra dangerous isn't just the damage, it's the speed and silence. There's no flashy burst, no warning, just a whisper and blood. And unless you know the obscure healing charm Vulnera Sanentur, the spell's effects are almost irreversible. Fiend Fire. If normal fire is a camp stove, Fiend Fire is a nuclear meltdown. Conjured with the incantation Incendio Diabolica or its older variants, this cursed flame thinks for itself, forming serpents, lions, and hydras that hunt anything living. It devours Horcruxes, stone, flesh, everything. Goyle lost control of it in the Room of Requirement. The blaze incinerated centuries of dark artifacts in minutes. The curse obeys raw intent but has no built-in off switch. Even experienced Death Eaters feared casting it indoors. To extinguish Fiend Fire, you need either Parseltongue level control or a large body of water paired with immediate evacuation. In short, brilliant for erasing evidence, assuming you don't plan on leaving the room alive. Protego Diabolica. First showcased by Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, Protego Diabolica is an infernal shield that manifests as a ring of black-blue flames. Instead of deflecting spells, it judges loyalty. Allies walk through unharmed, enemies are reduced to ash. The magic appears to bind itself to the caster's intent and ideology, effectively weaponizing group identity. Unlike standard shield charms, it scales outward, consuming entire city blocks if fed enough power. There is no known counterspell, though a powerful Patronus or combined shield charms can buy seconds. It's the defensive equivalent of a loyalty test, written in fire. Expecto Patronum. The Patronus charm is the antithesis of dark magic, a corporeal manifestation of positive memory that repels Dementors. Most defensive spells push, a Patronus purifies, flooding an area with hope so intense even Lethifolds retreat. Casting it requires unfiltered joy, which is why many wizards can manage only a misty, non-corporeal wisp. A full Patronus, stag, otter, phoenix, signals exceptional magical discipline. Mechanically, it channels the caster's happiest memory through a complex emotion-to-energy transfiguration. The charm can also serve as a messenger for members of the Order of the Phoenix, riding the caster's intent across miles. Light magic weaponized. Obliviate. Memory charms don't blast or burn, they erase. Obliviate rewrites the hippocampus, selectively removing or altering recollection. It's ministry-approved for Muggle exposure incidents, but has a dark history of abuse. Gilderoy Lockhart used an overpowered Obliviate to steal credit for other wizards' feats, ultimately backfiring and erasing his own identity. The spell requires surgical precision. Too weak and fragments remain. Too strong and you reduce a lifetime to empty pages. Healers at St. Mungo's compare repairing obliviated minds to re-inking a burned parchment. In short, Obliviate is bloodless, silent, and, in the wrong hands, every bit as destructive as a curse. Expelle Armis. Let's be honest, no spell gets more screen time than this one. Expelle Armis, the disarming charm, is used so often by Harry that even Snape called him out on it. But don't let the lack of flash fool you, this charm is brutally effective. It forcibly ejects whatever an opponent is holding, most often their wand. In magical duels, disarming someone is as good as ending the fight. The spell relies on precise magical control rather than brute force, which is why it's taught early but refined over time. Fun detail. It can also knock opponents back if cast with enough intent. Voldemort's final defeat technically came from a well-timed Expelle Armis. Not bad for what's basically wizarding judo. Stupify. The stunning spell. Clean, fast, and direct. Stupify knocks a target unconscious with a bolt of red light. It doesn't cause physical harm but renders the victim inert, making it ideal for subduing without killing. Think of it as the wizarding world's tranquilizer dart. It's used by Aurors, Death Eaters, Hogwarts students, and basically anyone who prefers their enemies not conscious. A well-aimed Stupify can drop a giant. Multiple can even down a dragon. And yes, you can block it with a shield charm. But in a chaotic duel, it's often the first thing flying across the room. Fast, efficient, and surprisingly versatile. Bomba Maxima. When Bombarda just isn't enough, you bring out the big sibling. Bomba Maxima causes a violent magical explosion, shattering stone, walls, and everything around it. It's not just about firepower, it's about spectacle. The spell isn't standard issue, it's advanced, taught only to upper-level students or ministry personnel. In the Prisoner of Azkaban film, Hermione uses it to blow open a door with enough force to rattle the entire hallway. This isn't some controlled demolition, it's magic with shockwaves. Not recommended indoors unless you're trying to renovate Hogwarts one blast at a time. Reducto. Reducto, the blasting curse, is all about destruction. Where Bomba Maxima creates explosive force, Reducto is more precise, like a magical wrecking ball. It disintegrates solid objects on impact, from desks to boulders. In combat, it can tear through cover, knock back opponents, and even collapse structures. The curse is silent but aggressive. No dramatic fireballs, just instant obliteration. During the Battle of the Department of Mysteries, it was a go-to spell for the DA. Its strength scales with the caster's intent and magical power, which means a trained wizard can reduce a stone pillar to powder efficient, targeted, and brutal. Legimmens. This is the wizarding equivalent of hacking someone's brain. Legimmens isn't just mind reading. It's memory extraction, emotional scanning, and in advanced cases, planting false impressions. It allows the caster to access thoughts, feelings, and even buried memories. Snape uses it as a weapon in occlumency lessons, plunging into Harry's mind without warning. Unlike Muggle telepathy tropes, Legilimency isn't passive. It's an active intrusion requiring focus and visual contact. Skilled occlumens like Voldemort or Dumbledore can shield their minds entirely. But unprotected minds? Open books. Subtle, invasive, and terrifying when used by someone who knows what they're looking for. Apparition. Technically not a spell, but it may as well be. Apparition is instant magical teleportation, disappearing in one place and reappearing in another. No broomsticks, no flu powder, just pop, gone. The technique is taught to wizards around 17, and it's notoriously tricky. Apparating incorrectly leads to splinching, leaving behind bits of your body in the starting location. Fun! The magic requires visualization, concentration, and a bit of nerve. Distance matters. Short-range jumps are safer, while international apparition is regulated by the Ministry. The spell version Apparate is more of an incantation used for structured instruction than a word actually spoken in combat. Quietly, one of the most useful and dangerous skills in the wizarding world. Vulnera Sanentur. A rare healing charm and one of the few spells invented by Professor Snape. Vulnera Sanentur is Latin for "may the wounds be healed," and it's used to close deep magical injuries, especially those caused by dark curses like Sectum Sea. Snape uses it during Half-Blood Prince to save Draco from bleeding out. The incantation must be repeated in soft intervals, gradually slowing blood flow, knitting tissue, and sealing skin. This isn't a flashy repair like Episci, it's advanced magical medicine, and unlike potions, which take time to brew, Vulnera Sanentur works instantly if you're skilled enough. Quietly heroic. Confringo. The Blasting Curse's fiery cousin. Confringo causes targets to explode, not just break apart, but violently combust. It creates a directed magical detonation, often sending enemies flying. Used in duels and battles, it's great for area denial, sabotage, or simply leveling a room. The curse was notably used by Hermione in Deathly Hallows when they were escaping from Nagini, blowing up part of Bathilda Bagshot's house. Unlike Bombarda, Confringo doesn't care about structural integrity or who's standing nearby. It ignites, it flings, it leaves scorch marks, and it has zero chill. Morgger. Also known as the incantation for the Dark Mark, this spell is pure intimidation magic. Cast by Death Eaters after attacks, Morgger summons a giant skull in the sky, trailing a serpent from its mouth, Voldemort's signature. It's less about combat, more about psychological warfare. The spell burns into the sky like magical graffiti, letting everyone know who is responsible. And here's the unnerving bit. The spell can't be cast by just anyone. It's strongly associated with Death Eater wands and loyalty marks, meaning casting it could directly implicate you. You're not just summoning an image, you're declaring allegiance. Loudly. Protego Maxima. Think of this as Protego's final form. Where the basic shield charm blocks spells one-on-one, Protego Maxima creates wide area magical protection, domes, barriers, even fortress-grade defenses. When combined with other enchantments like Fianto Duri and Repello Inimicum, it forms a massive protective barrier, like the one used to defend Hogwarts in the final battle. This isn't for duels, it's battlefield scale. The incantation requires multiple skilled witches or wizards, and it's often cast with physical movement or wand circling to channel the energy. It's magical architecture, building walls out of willpower. Impervious. The impervious charm makes objects repel substances. Most commonly, it's used to keep things dry, like glasses in rainy Quidditch matches. But the spell has broader applications. Applied to clothes, books, windows, or even broomsticks, it creates a temporary layer of magical resistance to water, mud, fog, or grime. It's not indestructibility, that's a different league, but it's extremely practical. Think of it as magical Scotchguard, and because it's often used in professional wizarding roles like Seeker or Cursebreaker, it's a charm every skilled witch or wizard picks up eventually. Accio Spell. The summoning charm, as in Accio Firebolt or Accio Gillyweed. This spell pulls objects toward the caster regardless of distance, as long as you know the target and it's not heavily protected. It's one of the most versatile charms in the entire series. Need your wand in a pinch? Accio Spell. Need a book from across the room? Accio Spell. Need a broomstick from across a lake while being chased by a dragon? You guessed it. Skilled casters can summon objects they can't even see, and advanced use can bring heavier or enchanted objects. Just remember, it's not teleportation. The item still has to physically travel to you, so don't summon a beehive. Want to see every house in Hogwarts explained? Click here.